What's up YouTube? This is Shank from UniShank, and today I'm going to continue my new series, Quick Chess Tactics. And today we're going to be covering the pin. So, as you can see in this position, there's a knight in the same diagonal as the king. In the skew order it would rather be like this, so the king would be here, and then like just a sec, the king would be here. In the skewer, it has to move and then we take the knight, something like that. When the pin, the less valuable piece is in the front and the more valuable piece is in the back. So in this situation, the knight is pinned. You can't take advantage of the pin if you play like any move. Like suppose you go king here, you just end up drawing it, right? You need to win this game. So you can play a knight here. But the people who are watching this video can like, wait, that's just hanging a knight, right? So that's the magical thing about the pins. They can't take your knight as their knight is pinned. So if they get deflected, you can just gobble up the king. I mean, not gobble up the king. He can just not do it. He can just play the move. It will be an illegal move. If there was a queen here instead of the king, he should not play here. Because when he takes, he supports his queen. He gets more, but if you play here, it will be more advantageous. Like, and now you can't do anything. He moves here, and you gobble up the knight. And in a future video, I'm going to show you how to do a bishop and knight mate in the future. So this was just an example position. Now we're going to start the exercises. So yeah, as you can see, like a previous position, the knight is in the way of the king. Is in the same diagonal as the king. So you just play bishop to d4, king moves, gobble the knight. This is called the absolute pin. Now you pin a piece to the king, right? So not that, this, right? And then you just gobble up the rook. Next, in this position, this is called the relative pin. What happens in the relative pin is that you pin a less valuable piece to a more valuable piece, but that more valuable piece is not a king. So in this situation, you have a rook and the queen in the same diagonal. You play bishop to c3, and that pins it, and you can just take the rook. It could, and this is exploit the pin, and this is an absolute pin again, as the king is in the same rank or file as the knight. So when you play f4, you can just take the knight, as the king has to move, but the knight can't move. This is a very famous blunder several beginner players make, right? They like castle a king and they forget that the knight, the queen, is spinning the pawn. So when the bishop takes the knight, they don't have any option to do, right? I shall put this position once again. When we take the bishop, they can't take back, and they just blunder a piece. And at this position, they were like, okay, let's just. And some beginners in one of my games when I was a beginner, they played this literally, and you can just mate them at that point. Or if you want a more exotic mate, you can do that also. So let's go to the next one. So what to do in this position? So knight is clearly pinned, and there are two supporters for this pawn, right? So when you take when you take the pawn, it should be a negative trade, right? 2 is a 2. They're gonna have an advantage. No, that's pinned. You can gobble up the rook. Bam, and they go back. Like, nature is not good. So what do we do in this position? This is a very, very important position and might appear loads of games. So in this position, this pawn is pinned. F7 is pinned as the king is behind the same diagonal, and bishop is pinning the pawn to the king. So when you take g6, there's nothing to defend it, and then you take that and you got a quick little mate. That was good. So another queen is pinned in this situation. So when you take it, when you take the pawn, queen can't take back, queen's pinned. Queen can't take the queen, it's a check. It has to move. So what is in this situation? You're gonna just take the queen. You do not have much of any advantage in that position. You should. Oh wait. There's another pin here. Like they're given. This is Hamburgers Anatoly Karpov. Anatoly Karpov is a former world champion. So here, rook to g3 is the best move, as it pins the pawn to the king, because pawn and king are on the same diagonal as the bishop. So bam and bam, they can't even take back. So that's it. And as in every video, I show like a typical position. So in this position, this is from Karyak and Sergey versus Vasily Ivanchuk game from 2012. So let's see. And this is what you call the Ruy Lopez, where you play the bishop here. And this is called the Steinitz Ruy Lopez, as it's given here, c62. So the knight is pinned, right? It's not very typical, right? E6 is not the most typical move. You have some a5s and all, you have some that and such positions, but when they play d6, d6 castle, what they are trying to do is free their knight, right? Because now it's pinned. So when they play the bishop to here, the whole idea of the move is to free the knight, because bishop and knight have the same value. So not a more valuable piece, so pin is now not there, and they just officially freed the knight from the pin. And the game goes on and on and on, and Karyak and Sergey wins the game by time, I think, because in laser it's just given white is victorious, but he wins the game by timeout. So that's it for today's video. Do like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.